Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Blue Table Talk Show. This is the show where we help Nigerians make informed migration decisions. And today we are going to be exploring something called the right way or the highway. There are many risks that are attached to irregular migration, ranging from exploitation, abuse, and human trafficking. We're going to take a look at how these decisions made by Nigerians impact their lives. However, in spite of the many harrowing experiences that Nigerians go through in the quest for a better life through irregular migration, we still find thousands and thousands of young Nigerian men and women embarking on this journey. With me in the studio, I have two amazing guests that are going to do justice to this topic of the right way or the highway. I have here with me Ruth Okoyon, who is a migration consultant and advocate, as well as Rita Abu, who is a returned migrant who has successfully turned her life around and is now a website developer and a digital marketer. But before we go into the show properly today, we're going to listen to Miko Banti on the streets of Lagos asking Nigerians why are they going on the highway instead of the right way. We will be back after this.
My name is Ifeanyi Ayemo. People will want relocate, we want Jackpa. Me too, I go like Jackpa, but I go like Jackpa in a proper way. Because in Nigeria now things they hard and it's easy for us to survive. So if I want travel go abroad, I go pray may God help me so that I go fit get correct papers. You understand? Because life now one.
Regular migration. People migrate regularly for different reasons. Some people move abroad for better lives. Some people move abroad to, expand their financial scope. So people have different reasons for moving abroad. But currently, with the way things are going on in the country, removal of fuel subsidy, dollar reaching 1,000 and all of that, a lot of people are feeling the pressures and they are looking for alternatives. So migration is one of them.
Well, so many people are leaving the country. It's because of the frustration that we are going through. It's because of the economy. It's like so many things that we put in place. Like this country, we have hope. We have hope. So if the government will look into it, I know so many people, especially like health professionals, will remain in the country and take care of our people here.
Welcome back. So, Ruth, I'm going to start with you, and I would like to ask you just a few simple questions. Let's start by asking this question. Would you be able to share with us what the insights or the key challenges that are related to irregular migration? What are the primary risks that people face going through irregular migration?
Oh, okay, all right. So, the risk that irregular migrants would likely face if they follow the regular route would be physical, financial risk, and of course the psychological risk. So irregular migrants would risk being trafficked, by trafficking and human smuggling networks, who exploit them, for their own gain. They would also face the risk of being caught up in the violence in Libya, because for now Libya is not safe. In fact, since 2011, Libya has been facing political instability. Okay. So there are clashes between gang groups, between militias and all of that. So that is another risk.
These are quite interesting factors that you are raising and bringing up. And so I like the idea of this, but I'm going to take a break here and I'm going to turn to Rita, who is my other guest. Thank you, Rita, for being on the program with us. Now, Ruth here has spoken to us about the fact that started an introduction into the risks that irregular migrants might face. But then I'm happy to say that you have gone through it, but you have come out successfully. Now, would you be able to share some insights into what you personally feel at the risk that people, Nigerians who are listening to you out there, are likely to face if they are still considering going through this kind of regular way to Japan?
Okay, like you said, the psychological risk involved. There's no way you go through that kind of stress, go through that struggle, and come back the same way. A lot of return migrant has to face mental health issue. A lot of them cannot even keep relationships now because they get angry easily. You can imagine somebody who's been beaten severally, just to sell themselves, or because they need to pay one madam on for the other. So it's the emotional trauma is severe. So they have to go through a lot of mental health support. They have to get a lot of support mentally to be able to live the normal life. They find it difficult to trust people. It's just a lot.
Okay, so I think one risk that we may not have explored, and I would like you to, shed some more light on, Ruth, especially with you being a migration counselor, would be the fact that when people are embarking on irregular migration journeys, do they actually ever get to the destination? Is it really a reality?
Okay, so the whole idea is this. When they embark on this journey, the plan is, it is very easy. Kanu to Niger, from Niger to the Sahara Desert. But the truth is that many of them get stuck in Libya for many years. They can't cross. So they get stuck in Libya. These people, most of them do not have skills that can help sustain them. So they end up doing menial jobs just to survive. The years are wasted, the experience, the trauma they have faced, everything. At the end of the day, they don't even arrive at their destination. So the success story, out of 10, could be, let's say, maybe 2. Yes.
This is quite interesting. So, in light of the fact that, where you itemized and listed kind of risk, what role do you think that political, social, and economic variables actually play in this increased danger that is associated with regular migration? Now you have said these things, wasted years, the challenges, lack of success stories, even the ones that do seem like they're success stories, actually not really success stories in the real sense of it. Okay, so Ruth and Rita, I would like to ask both of you beautiful ladies this simple question. In light of these dangers, the risk and the realities that we're talking about, what do you think that political issues, social issues, economic issues, what role do you think they are all playing in actually increasing this danger or the push factors for irregular migration?
Okay, I think they're all interwoven. Political, the social, the economic. Because the reasons why people migrate, why they leave their homes to go abroad, is basically to improve the quality of their job opportunities. So, of course, that is a factor. So, for having an enabling environment now, which is also tied in a way to political, which is our government, I'm sure this will also sort of lessen, the way people want to migrate regularly. Then when it comes to social, there's also the issue of family pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't talk about this enough, but this is what we hear when we speak to potential irregular migrants or those who have actually embarked on return. We find out that some of them do it for their family. Well, I'm the first child. Everything is dependent on me. I have to make sure my family is well. This African thing, live as a community. Your family is, you put them top priority and all of that. So that's also a factor. So these are the factors that push people to migrate regularly.
Rita, in your opinion, would you say that you think that the points that or the factors that have been raised by Ruth are extensive? What are your thoughts on this, especially with the fact of social and economic variables? What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, economically, when the basic amenities become a necessity, the problem people want to rent. Right? So for example, when I left home, it was because I heard that I could go to school abroad on scholarship, and then there's free education over there. So I could be working and then not going to work as well. But it's not like that in Nigeria. Even the college that I went to, it was a whole lot of struggle. And I didn't want to go through that struggle again. That's the reason, okay, I went to school abroad. I have cousins who are in the UK, the government paid their school fees. So they are not really thinking about feeding money, they're not thinking about transport fare and all of that. You understand? So I know that the government are putting structures in place right now. There are scholarships to go to film schools, to learn skills, even in the tech space, in all of. But most of those students have to go using their transportation. You can imagine from Ikorodu going to the island just because I want to access a scholarship. So it's a lot. I know how much I spent in January through March just to get a certificate in screenwriting. I had to pay a lot. I know the government, paid for that, paid for the scholarship. You understand? So if you are putting structures in place, you should consider these basic amenities so that people will actually stay and learn, and then get better, at their work. And also for family, the pressure is just as in I don't even right now know how we can really sort that family issue. The messages are going on. It's always a problem. They'll tell you, forget it. We have family who have gone, children who have gone abroad and they are doing well. Through the same route you're pushing again, then the opportunity to learn something before going to school or while I was going to school. Currently, I do that with some children I have in my community. They are currently in secondary schools, some are in primary schools. So we are encourage them to after school hours, you can learn one or two things. It could be digital skills. Those ones that say they want to learn fashion, they want to learn catering, do it, make 2-3 hours. We enroll them for that, and then that's one way they can actually, help this.
Well, it's interesting the fact that the way we have seen the role that government, society, and even economic issues play out, and the part that has been picked on in terms of the family is a really big issue that I'm sure that we will probably even relook at again on this episode, on another episode of the program. So in that case, I would like to dovetail right into our next question, and I would like to ask, what do we think as guests on the show, as Nigerians, that our government can do? What measures can government take to reduce this issue of irregular migration, as well as the risk that attached to it? Reduce it, the risk attached to it, as well as the root causes. So, Ruth, what do you have to say about this?
Okay, so while we commend the government for what they have done so far, we still feel that there's need for improvement, especially in the areas of creating an enabling environment, because we understand that the government cannot do everything for every of its citizens. But in terms of enabling environment for business owners, for small business owners to thrive, and then power, security, and then these double taxations, because small business owners are also suffering. So these are some of the things that push people to want to leave, the country. Also look at the areas of unemployment. We have a lot of young graduates, keep churning them out. But where are the jobs? There are no jobs. We also look at the area of insecurity. Yes, this is another big challenge, and it's also a push factor for most irregular migrants, because everybody wants to be safe. Yes, so the government needs to do well in the area of security.
Well, I think that some things that you have said there are pretty important and very valid. And I would like to hear Rita's thoughts on this as well, especially as you had already started even in your last comment to me. But I want to ask you, are there any other things that you really think government should do and put in place to reduce this urge for irregular migration from young people, or from Nigerians in general, actually?
Okay, like she said, there are a lot of infrastructures that have been put down by the government. Yeah, we are seeing it, but a lot of people do not have the information. So I'm going to be stressing on accessibility, both information and then the opportunity. You understand? So, like I said, having access to the opportunity is one. Then, how to access it? I'll take for example, this early this year, I got an opportunity to access a training program with Ebony Life Creative Academy to study the art of screenwriting. I had to go from Ikorodu to the Highland every day.
Wow.
So while I think about my feeding, think about bills at home, I get to think about transportation. A lot of people will not even think about it. And another thing is, after you graduate from these institutions, I think the only people who were lucky were the first set of people that accessed this opportunity, because they got the opportunity to be employed by Ebony Life. But ever since that time, they've produced a lot of filmmakers in the 6 different departments. But many of them are on the street. We write scripts, we don't even have money to produce this script. So I think the government should do a lot in this aspect. While you're making opportunity available, make sure that people are able to access these opportunities?
Well, yes, I like what I'm hearing from both of you, my guests, but I also still think somewhere along the line that migration is a personal decision, it's a personal, and while you have mentioned that government can improve infrastructure, I'm thinking here, which would lead me to my next question to both of you, that what ways can we look at global cooperation and collaboration to help address these root causes? Especially you have mentioned how and commendable activities by the government and even private institutions. But beyond that, beyond at this point in time, where we know that government alone may not be able to do it, are there things that what kind of global cooperation and collaborations can we even begin to look at?
Okay. So to promote safe migration, yeah, I agree with you. There are a lot of things that global cooperation has to do. So that would, for me, I think that would be in terms of policies, migration policies, because sometimes this accessing legal migration, how to be truthful, the requirements are sometimes very
difficult.
Yeah, very difficult for people that are lowly educated. For those who do not have the certain skills, it's a bit of a challenge, and this is why they resort to the other part, which is regular migration. So policies that makes migration a bit easier. Also look at migration within the region.
Okay,
I'm talking about migration within the
African region. Okay,
yeah, it was interesting the other time when I think it was the Kenya government.
Yes, when they did the visa free. Yes,
yeah.
Kenya is doing that.
So
yes.
it's a bit appalling that we are Africans and still for me to go to some countries that are outside the ECOWAS region, I still have to apply for visa. So these are the issues. So migration policies should be a bit flexible and fair. Yeah.
So I'm going to like to ask my beautiful guest in the studio with me that what measures at the end of it all, really, can we as people or society take to actually mitigate this risk that are associated with irregular migration? How do we promote sustainable regular migration? What do you think? What to say here,
Yeah, it is. Let me tell you, it is. The role of advocacy and awareness creation cannot be overemphasized. So we just have to keep talking and talking about this. We have to keep informing people about the right way and the legal way for them to migrate. Migration in itself is not bad. It's not a bad desire, it's not a bad intention. You have the right to migrate. I have the right to migrate to any country of my choice. But I have to do it the right way. I have to get the necessary migration travel documents to enter into that country, so that I will be more confident and, of course, have access to what I left my country for, to the other destination country, so I can have access to that. So the role of advocacy, yeah, we need to keep talking about it. Political actors, NGOs, civil societies, even advocates, individuals that are advocates, we need to talk to people about the dangers, and then speak to them about safer and better ways that they can migrate. I would also say we should also look at family dynamics. So in the area of awareness and advocacy, we really need to look into family, because this pressure from the family, sometimes we undermine it, but they also need to be well informed. So we're not just looking at the potential migrants themselves, but then their families. We need to help them understand this risk, because most times these decisions are not taken by migrants themselves. It is influenced by family relations. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ruth. Rita, I mean, for you, for a person who has personally experienced a lot of the dynamics we're talking about here, how would you say how easy is it for people to choose to go the right way as opposed to the highway, and what can they really do now to choose the right way?
Okay, I think people really need to get this straight. People need to understand it's not like it's cheaper going through the regular route.
Very true.
People do not understand that it's even more expensive.
Very true.
So when they tell you, they told me it's 300K. Actually, I and my friend, we paid 240,000 naira.
What year was that?
That was 2016.
Imagine.
But at the end of the day, when we got traffic, we had to now pay over 1 million.
Wow.
In fact, my first blogger said $6,000. I had no idea. I don't even know how much $1 is. So at the end of the day, you find out that you're paying a lot
at every point in time.
So now I heard that people, agents that do this travel business, if you're able to like raise 4 point something million naira, you might be able to like get your passport, do your visa and all of that. I think it's even more cheaper. It's more affordable compared to traveling with irregular. So people need to understand this, and also I think they've heard about traveling irregularly, the risks attached to irregular migration. They've heard about. I've gone to a market sensitization where somebody in Lagos here, somebody said, "I beg you, people should stop talking about let's not travel. If I die there, if I die, I die.
Very
At least
true.
let me try."
I
So
get that
they've heard about this, and then we have people who are asking, "Okay, you say we should not travel irregularly because of the danger. We know, but what is the right way to travel?" So I think we should start emphasizing the right way.
Safe
So
and legal.
while we are still preaching the risk, we should preach more on the
Safe and
safe,
legal ways.
safe and regular way. I think we should even be projecting that much more now on social media. We should talk more on the safer ways to travel.
Thank you so much, my amazing guest, for actually shedding the light on the right way or the highway. It's interesting that Rita has mentioned how we need to look at a lot of focus on the right way. The truth is that a lot of people, that information gap is missing, and that's why we keep telling you to keep watching the Blue Table Talk show, because on this particular show we are able to shed light and help you make informed migration decisions, including finding out the right way to travel, which you definitely see on one of our episodes. So thank you, my guests. It's been amazing having both of you in the studio with me today. And before we finally go and we say goodbye to our audience, I would like you to tell me, just in 1 minute each, how do you think awareness campaigns and education that we can use at this point in time to reduce this risk associated with regular migration?
So apart from the role of the media, I think one-on-one, counseling is pretty important. We need to go where these people, meet them where they are. Yeah, not just on social media or traditional media. So we need to go where they are. We're going to the streets, going to communities, even marketplace, that she has said, because these people have kids who have these desires. So we just have to keep moving.
Thank you. And Rita, I remember that before, at some point in our conversation earlier on, you were talking about some initiatives that you do with people. So do you think that such kind of things, like what you do, which you're going to talk to us more about, can be a form of awareness campaign to help reduce the risk of irregular migration?
Okay, so it's something we're already doing, and I think a lot of other organizations can also adopt that. Now, when you're telling people not to travel, I think it's also essential to give them a reason not to. So what we do, we go to communities, we train young people on different skills like hardware, stock making, digital marketing skills. So even while we are telling them do not travel, we're not even telling them not to travel. We're telling them migration is your right. But if you want to travel, you need to have a skill. If you're going to the UK, what are you going to do in the UK? Okay, look at these skills. These are skills that can make you money here while you're at home or while you're in school. And if eventually you have the opportunity to travel, these skills can sell you. These are the skills that you can sell to make money for yourself. So we've been training young people on that. Even we open access and we search for opportunities where they could get these skills for free, and then we connect them with it, learn, and we encourage them to start practicing.
Thank you so much. So we are saying that it's the right way or the highway on the Blue Table Talk show, and we are advising, advocating, and pleading with you, dear Nigerians, that you take the right way instead of the highway on your migration journey. Migration is your fundamental human right, but do it the right way. So we come to your screen again. It's the Blue Table Talk. Thank you. And my name is Enitan Ibironke, as usual.